I know it's here somewhere. Finally. Oh, it's time for the doctor. You're listening to Dr. Bill, the computer curmudgeon. Take it away, Doctor.
Well, it's that time again, and the doctor is in. It's time once again for Dr. Bill, the computer curmudgeon. And on the show today, we have stuff. Well, we've got some stuff. It may not be tremendous amounts of stuff, but it's stuff. So there you go. Anyway, we're proud members of the Tech Podcast Network. Let me try that again. Hold on. Back up. Take two. We're proud members of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech you want, it's right here. That's not right. But it's close enough. Yeesh. Boy, I got button happy there. I hit the wrong button. We're also proud members of the International Association of Internet Broadcasters. Normally, that's the one I mess up. Today, I decided to do it on the Tech Podcast one. Wow. Getting off to an interesting start already. Well, there you go. PIA. Private Internet Access. You need it. You really do. Check it out. You can get an amazing deal here. I was just reviewing the deal that's available, and it may even be better than the one that I got it when I got PIA. Dude, which was pretty good. And it's on all my devices. My phone, my Fire TV, my computer, my laptop. It's everywhere. It's even in my Chromebook, I believe. I've got it everywhere. So anyway, PIA, Private Internet Access. You get to have your internet and keep it private. Sometimes I have beard hair on me, trying to keep it to a minimum. I produce my own, however. I have a fresh batch every so often. Anyway, let's go back to that blog URL that I accidentally put up very quickly, kind of flashed on and off. That's drbill.tv, drbill.tv. Boy, I'm really messing this show up, but I'm not stopping. I'm going forward. Moving on. Okay. Let's get into the blog, please. drbill.tv. Yes, Fred, I still do write the blog. Yeesh. Fred's getting mouthy on me. Again. He was quiet for a very long time, but now he's beginning to speak up. Anyway, yes, the blog. I still write the blog. And this week I actually did some blogging. drbill.tv. First item, Linux Mint 20.1. Ulissa is out. They always name it, with a little catchy word. This time it's Ulissa. I guess Ulysses is the male and Ulissa is the female. Don't get me started on gender stuff. It's crazy enough out in this world anyway, without getting into that. Anyway, Linux Mint 20.1 is out. All the various types have been released. I particularly prefer, it's like Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Did I get any pops on the microphone with that? I hope not. Anyway, my preferred distro of Linux Mint is Cinnamon, the Cinnamon interface. And it is out. And I have installed it on my Linux box, and it works great. So I greatly encourage you to go out and download Linux Mint 20.1 Ulissa. Okay, next item. Good news for Linux gamers. I'm not a Linux gamer. I'm not a gamer of any kind. I just don't do games other than Frozen Bubble, which I know is not exactly Fortnite or some of these really popular games. No, it's just Frozen Bubble. It's just something to do when you're sitting in the doctor's office waiting. Popping the bubbles. Anyway, good news for Linux gamers. According to Linux Today, there is good news. It's getting more interesting in the open source community. It's providing better support for tools for gamers. Yet another game launcher, Heroic Games, is here to specifically act as a native alternative to the Epic Games Store. So you have more options if you're a Linux gamer. Like I said, I'm not one, so who am I to talk? But I just want to let you know about it. Anything that promotes Linux, I'm down with. All right, this next one, this is Dr. Bill going out on a real long limb. And as big as I am, that means it leans low. Yes, Fred, I made a joke at my own expense. I didn't let him do it. I just went ahead and did it myself. Because this next item, if it works out, it will be really cool. If it doesn't, I will have egg proverbially upon my face. Which I fully expect to. I really do. I don't see how this could actually be true. Okay? So what are you talking about, Dr. Bill? I'm talking about this over here. Right there, yes. It is the GPD Micro PC. You say, what does that have to do with anything? This PC was advertised on Facebook, which, of course, as we know, is part of the evil tech cabal, evil empire out there. And they'll advertise anything to anybody. And I saw an ad go by and went, what? It showed that PC right there. Little tiny, little bitty thing. It listed, when it came out, for $299. And they advertised it on Facebook for $29. In other words, 1/10. Actually, I think it was $24. But anyway, think of it that way. 1/10 of its original price. I'm like, I don't think so. I mean, this is a pretty decent little machine, and it's small, it's tiny, but it's designed for geeks like me. Particularly when I was working my secular job as a computer system engineer. This thing would have been awesome to have, because you could go to the computer room and you could hook this thing up directly to a serial port. Yes, I know, I said a serial port. The old 9-pin serial port, like it was back in the day. And then you could use it to work on routers and things of that nature. So they built a 9-pin serial port into this little box. Cool. But other than that, it's a neat little PC, and it's tiny. It's the size of your hand. So that's very cool. But for $24, you gotta be kidding. So you know what I did? Just on a whim, I ordered one. Now, I know it's probably a scam. They probably took my $24. These Japanese. They're not Japanese, they're Chinese. Chinese! Dudes. I forget the name of the company that's selling this. It had some stupid, what they thought was a good American name that was off the wall. But anyway, it's LTD. Something. And I went on the internet after I ordered it. It was too late then. And I checked them out, and sure enough, there's a lot of people say, these people are scammers. So I believed when I ordered it that it was probably a scam. But I thought to myself, it's worth $24 just to be able to do a spot on my show. And if it ever does come in, I can say, look, it actually came in. And if it doesn't, I can say, see, I was taken. Yes, Fred, I know. But what are you going to do when you do a YouTube show, right? So there you go. We'll see how that gamble works out. Anyway, I mean, that wasn't half as weird as the other thing they were advertising on the same site, and that is a full-sized laptop, i7, 16 gig of memory, SSD drive, with an aluminum shell, nice-looking screen for $20. You know it's got to be a scam. You just know it has to, right? So, there you go. Anyway, next item. Yes, Fred, you're right, but what am I going to do? I just couldn't resist. Anyway, Elon Musk has become the richest man in the world. Wow. He's now worth more than $180 billion. I mean, I'd be happy with 1/10 of that. What am I talking about? I'd be happy with 1% of that. Dude, it's a ton of money. Anyway, cool. He surpassed the previous record holder, Jeff Bezos, who also owns a company that launches ships into space. Wow. Anyway, Musk's rising wealth reflects the meteoric rise of Tesla's stock. He actually makes electric cars that people do want to buy. That's a unicorn right there. Anyway, although I understand that Tesla cars do have their issues with quality control, like hoods flying off the cars they drive down the road. I mean, crazy stuff. You pay $200,000+ for a car and the hood flies off. I don't think so. Yeesh. Anyway, this next item that I have here is a video on the blog. If you go to drbill.tv, let me put it back up there. drbill.tv, drbill.tv, as it says there on the screen. If you go to that website, you will see a video of a cool Windows tablet PC build. This guy took a Latte Panda, Arduino-compatible Windows 10 single-board computer with an Intel Cherry Trail Z8350 quad-core CPU with an integrated onboard AT-Mega 32U4 coprocessor. And he built a tablet, a Windows 10 tablet. Now, when I played this video, which you can play right there on the blog, his music choice was a little weird, and it was very loud. So I tell you, turn down the sound before you watch it. But it's fun to watch. There's really no narration. You just get to see him build this tablet. And, it's kind of like a maker thing, right? Makers that just put things together out of parts. This is cool. I enjoyed it, so check it out. Now, this next thing, here it is. Hold on. Let me reach in there without knocking over the camera and everything else. This is a USB stick. Da-da-dum. Make sure I put it over here near my face so that it'll be roughly in focus. Anyway, the reason I mentioned the USB stick is because you can install the real Chrome OS on an old laptop or a computer, which is what I did, installed it on a computer that I happen to have laying around. And here's the thing. You could get various flavors of Chrome, which is... Chrome is an operating system based on Linux from Google for Chromebooks. Okay? You know that. All right. But there are companies that have wrapped it up in various installers to make it easy to install. Typically, the raw Chrome is not that easy to install. It's a little techie, okay? So what this guy did on this YouTube video is he shows you step by step by step how to install the real Chrome OS. Not, one of these offshoots, but the real Chrome OS on a computer. And it works. And it's really cool. So I thought, dude, somebody else is probably as interested in this as I am. But I used to do the Chromist Netcast back in the day. And we would do all things chromy. All things shiny and chromy. And so this would have been a perfect thing for the Chromist. But you can try it. Watch the video. It's very entertaining. The guy's kind of funny. But watch the video, and I think you'll appreciate it. Pretty cool. Next item. Next item is... Let's just say it might be a little controversial, but I've already talked about the fact that I'm a conservative, and so there, right? It shouldn't bother you, okay? I'm not out to take over anything or, do anything untoward toward anyone. I'm just a big, lovable fuzzball. See the fuzz? Anyway, big tech is evil and hates free speech. They do. They really, really do. They took away President Trump's Twitter account, to which I'm sure a lot of people go, well, where? Who cares? But the point is, okay, here's the thing. An individual, doesn't matter who they are, could be the president, could be you, me, the dog catcher, doesn't matter, whoever, should have the right to free speech. Well, you got a Twitter account. Well, Twitter is a privately held company, okay, run by individuals, and they said, we want the guy off our system. So they threw him off. Well, that's one thing, okay? But then the president said, well, I'll just go to Parler. It's a competing social network. They believe in free speech, free and open speech. They don't care who it is that's speaking. They just say, you can speak. And so they went to Parler. So what did big tech do? Google, Apple, and Twitter, and Facebook all got together and said, you can't be on Parler. We'll just kill Parler. So Amazon shut down their servers on Amazon Web Services, AWS. Now, dude, I said in a recent video that I did on the ministry side of the fence over there, because I do two podcasts. I do this tech podcast, and I do a ministry podcast, or Netcast. And, on there I said, you better be watching who is hosting your website and who is hosting your streaming video and all your other tech resources, because if they want to just pull the plug, they can do that. And if they do, where does that leave you? Now, I was talking specifically to churches and ministers, all right? And if you want to go see that Netcast, a little more serious than this Netcast, there's a link below in the description that will take you there, okay? And you can see all my comments there. But here's the thing. Free speech to me is critically important. I don't care if you are a flaming, wacko, tree-hugging, freakoid liberal, okay? And I say that with all the love I can. Or you are a knucklehead, redneck, freakoid, right-winger. like me, whatever, okay? You should be able to speak. You can use words, and you can speak them, and words mean things, and words are important, and thoughts and free exchange of ideas is critical. Get off my soapbox. But I could really get into that because I am a great believer in free speech. Now, you may not be wacko conservative and you may not be wacko liberal, but whatever you are, or you may be in the middle of the road. You may be, one of those mealy-mouthed independents that never take a stand on anything because you don't believe squat. Boy, I'll just make everybody mad. Let's get everybody mad at me. Anyway, point is, whoever you are, you should be able to have free speech and not be impeded by some big tech dude. They got all the money, and they're going to take away my ability to speak freely? Dude, it's totally un-American. There you go. Well, anyway, I say all that to say this. God, get off my soapbox. Anyway, big tech is evil. J.P. Sears, a satirical comedian who's also on YouTube, his podcast, Netcast, whatever, show, has a whole lot more subscribers than I do. But at any rate, he's funny. And he's funny, but he makes a point. And he has Big Tech Cleans House, everything that we need to understand about the free speech issue. He's got right there in a satirical way. He makes fun of the situation, but he makes good points as you go along. So check that out. Whoa! Fred, way to go. Fred says, I've had enough of this. Thank you. Anyway, Fred's reminding us that we do have a Geek Software of the Week this week, for once. A real one. This one's pretty cool. This is it's a software, yeah, but it's also kind of hardware because you build it on a Raspberry Pi, okay? And the guy actually offers a Raspberry Pi package that he'll sell you for the whole system. But it is called Tiny Pilot, okay? Over here is a picture of it. Check that out. That's the full-sized version, full implementation that he sells. And here's the thing. If you've got a home lab or a home network that has a lot of servers on it, like I do here, it would benefit you to have a KVM. Now, I use VNC, okay, which allows me to connect to a server and make changes and tweaks and so forth and get off the desktop of the server. But it has to be up and running to be running the VNC process, all right? But what this is a KVM, okay, which is keyboard, video, and mouse, KVM, that will allow you to connect to a system at the IP level and really at the hardware level, you might say, and be able to tweak the BIOS. So in other words, even if the operating system is completely shut down, you can reboot into the BIOS and you can make changes across the network through this IP KVM. All right, now the software, this is what's so cool about this. The software that he wrote to do this is 100% free. So you could take your own Raspberry Pi, you could put it on a micro SD card, his software, boot it off of that, and you have a KVM that basically cost you very little. Now, these KVMs, if you're in IT at all and you've priced KVMs, you know they are expensive. Woo! Shell out the big bucks, all right? So this is really inexpensive and really powerful in what it does. His whole full-blown system is $299. That includes the pro version of the software, which gives you HTTPS, secure socket layer connectivity, and password protection. so that you can actually, if you're away from home, you can connect back into your home network and, do bare metal restores or installs even over the internet. Okay? That's pretty cool. For $299, that's amazing. All right, now, what that gets you is the little case here and the Raspberry Pi 4 2 gig version. Then you get some cables, connectors, things along that line, but and the software, the pro version of the software. Now, the non-pro version is free. It's open source. But the pro version is $99.99 if you just want the pro version of the software and you're going to use your own Raspberry Pi. The $299 is if you buy the equipment directly from him, where he builds it and tests it and all that kind of stuff and then ships it to you. So, very, very cool stuff. And I got to give this guy huge kudos. All right? He put together this thing, and I'm sure he had a personal need for it probably. But my goodness, this thing is powerful for what it is and what it does. The guy's name is Michael Lynch, and I've got a video of him describing his software on the website, drbill.tv. Check that out. Not only will it do KVM, what isn't supported, this is maybe more critical to know what it doesn't do yet. Power management. You can shut down TinyPilot through its web interface, but it does not manage the target machine's power. Auto forwarding is not supported. VNC or RDP compatibility is not supported. But coming soon, you'll be able to mount virtual drives, dynamically mount storage volumes on your target system right through the web browser, because it's a web interface. Add any file or boot image you want, and the target system will see it as a USB storage device, so you'll be able to build a system off of it remotely. Manage power. You'll be able to connect TinyPilot directly to a power strip, so you can cycle power when the machine becomes unresponsive. Well, dude, if you had this thing set up with the pro version of the software, and you were able to get into your network from outside, let's say you're on vacation, you could not only go all the way down to the BIOS level. If it was unresponsive, you could reboot it if it had that capability. Okay? So that's pretty cool. In a little $299 box that, he's continuing to develop. So, dude, kudos to Michael for doing this. And I'm looking into it myself. I'm kind of trying to decide, is it going to be something that I want to do? But it sounds really cool, okay? So I wanted to share that with you. That's the Geek Software of the Week. I encourage you to check it out. If you have a need for this, I'm telling you, you're probably going, Dr. Bill, I want to see that. Okay? So anyway, now the $299 version, with all the security and everything built in, you could actually run that in a more critical uptime type environment, okay? But the homegrown, so to speak, free version, without the security built in, if you're just doing it on your local LAN to an IP that's not open to the public, there you go. You're ready to roll. So that's pretty cool. All right, that'll do it for this show. It's been a weird show. It's just been strange. But there you go. This is the first full show for 2021. And we're starting off 2021 on a weird note anyway. There's just weird things happening. But anyway, compared to 2020, it's probably a cakewalk. But anyway, join us again next time. Remember until then that the doctor is out of here.
Dr. Bill, the Computer Curmudgeon, is a production of DrBillDaily.net with all the honors, rights, and privileges thereunto appertaining.